Are you ready for a weekend at Bernie's presidency? I'll tell you about that. President Trump's numbers are in deep trouble. COVID-19 numbers are going up, but the death rate is not at all like it used to be. And now they're saying the kids can, in fact, go back to school. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance.
Welcome to the program, friend. I do this show without a teleprompter. So I study the news, I prepare my heart, mind, and soul, and then I look into this camera and I talk to you. In today's segment, I'm going to discuss with you from my heart, from my gut, what a Biden presidency would look like. It would look like Weekend at Bernie's. Them propping up Joe. For those of you who don't know, it was a movie probably, 25 years ago about a guy who died, literally died, and then somehow or another these young kids propped him up and moved his hand to wave at people while they were using his speedboat. I've never seen the movie. All I saw were the clips, but the phrase Weekend at Bernie's became a part of genre when you wanted to talk about someone or something that was dead and there were people behind the curtain pulling the strings. Look at who is circling around Biden and look at who Biden is inviting into his circle. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, Black Lives Matter, the people who want to radically reduce the size of police forces, just for starters. Let's take them in no order of importance except for number one, child killing. Former Vice President Biden has promised that he will include the payment of child killing in any budget regarding Obamacare. He, for years, supported the Hyde Amendment. The Hyde Amendment was passed decades ago to ensure that federal monies, taxpayer money, our money, would never be used to pay for babies being murdered. Obama tried to get rid of it and failed. Biden is promising that he will get rid of it. So not only will we be one of the largest killers of children in the world, probably second only to China, maybe India as well, but we would then have our money pay for the murder of our innocent neighbor, of Jesus' little brothers and Jesus' little sisters. Surely children are included in the least of his brethren. That's what a Biden presidency would look like. Let's talk about the Green New Deal. Oil is the foundation, the energy foundation of our economy and of the world economy. Fossil fuels. We have made incredible strides cleaning up the air, cleaning up water. With the exception of a few cities that are run by Democrats, all of us have very safe drinking water. With the exception, there is no exception. The way cars are designed today, the emissions is so low, it's almost staggering. We're not India. We're not China. If you want to see what smog looks like, go over there. But AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and other Earth First people who value the earth more than they value human beings, worse yet, they believe that human beings are the scourge, that we're the problem, and that the earth, Mother Earth, must be protected. Some of them almost worship the earth. That's where the phrase earth worshipers comes from. It's a mocking term. They would, if they had their way, they would force us into a fossil fuel-free economy. I don't think that any of us can imagine the tailspin that would put us in. It's unimaginable. People, and part of the problem with this is that the scientific data about so-called global warming, global cooling, now it's just climate change because they can't figure it out. The data is so inconclusive, and there are so many scientists lining up on the other side saying it's all a hoax, that we would be risking our livelihoods, our standard of living, for what is possibly a hoax. I think that we will go more and more towards clean energy. I think it's inevitable. But the speed at which they want to do it and the force, the governmental force with which they intend to accomplish it, could and would be devastating for us and for our freedoms. Let me take a break, and then we will continue with what a Biden presidency would look like regarding police, Black Lives Matter, freedom of speech. Don't go away. Police officer Jonathan Shoup was shot in the head by Black Lives Matter activist Henry Washington. This has received virtually no national media coverage. This is a black man who has pictures on social media of himself, and he literally walked up to the police car after he had struck a pedestrian, broke the man's femur, and sped off. They finally caught up to him, and he pulled over, and then he just got out of his car and walked up and started shooting the cops. He shot both of them in the head. One of them was grazed and survived. The other one was dead. So I bring this up because if you were to watch the news footage on most major TV right now, you would not have known that this happened. Because they want a narrative of Black Lives Matter being just, that they're the victims, that they're simply calling for an end to police brutality. But the truth of the matter is that Black Lives Matter as an organization is Marxist. It's a socialist Marxist organization that is committed to the overthrow of our form of government and our cultural underpinnings, primarily our Judeo-Christian underpinnings and our underpinnings of the family. Biden is surrounding himself with people who are courting the Black Lives Matter movement, the activists, and the people that they are energizing. Because there's a lot of white kids out in the street marching with Black Lives Matter. Clearly, Black Lives Matter. Clearly, all lives matter. The reason that lives matter is because we are made in the image of God and we all have the same parents. Every single human being on the face of the earth originated from the same mom and dad, Adam and Eve. If you don't believe that we came from the same parents, then you are in error. And you are a part of a movement from 100, 200 years ago that believed that certain humans were a subspecies that did not come from Adam and Eve, which is ludicrous. All right. Biden is surrounding himself with these people. Biden is entertaining the idea of, and has said on the record, that he would reduce police spending. This emboldens people. I'm sick to my stomach over this policeman being killed. And I'm enraged that the narrative of the major press is so hell-bent on making white people feel guilty just because they're white and white privilege, all this, that they won't even cover something as horrific as a gangland-style shooting of two police officers in the head, one of which is dead. This is appalling. This is what a weekend at Bernie's presidency will look like for Joe Biden. He's obviously not dead, but intellectually, he's in deep trouble. There's something not right there. So he's got people that are circling around thinking, we can run the country. And he's got Michelle Obama in the wings wondering if she should be the VP pick. If they let President Trump's numbers keep sinking, and then they pick Michelle at the last second, the enthusiasm factor be shooting through the roof. And then it's just a matter of time, if Biden wins the presidency, that Michelle is the president. Because Biden is not going to be able to fulfill his duties for long. He's just not there intellectually. That's why you've got these people circling around him. Now think of what what would happen to our free speech. Think of what's happening right now on social media platforms, where stuff is being yanked down, where we are being shadow banned. Under a Biden presidency, God knows what could be suddenly considered hate speech, and therefore a crime. Do I exaggerate? Could you have guessed that our country would be in the mess it's in right now a year ago? 4 years ago? When we come back from this break, I'm going to play for you a video clip that is so good out of Moscow, Idaho. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the program, friend. New St. Andrews College. That's the name of the college. They put up a video clip that is so good. I have to play it. Watch for yourself.
Hey, wokey McWokeface. Quick question. This Black Life mattered. But doesn't this one? We know this Black Life matters. But why doesn't this one? We believe that all these Black lives mattered. And tens of millions of others too. Murdered in the most dangerous place in this country for any Black life. A womb. Murdered and dissected and sold. We believe that each and every human life matters because every human life, regardless of culture or color, is crafted in the sacred image of Almighty God, which is the only possible reason why any life could matter at all. We believe that secular progressive white supremacists have been running a vile and genocidal population control campaign against blacks in America that has straddled centuries, trying to keep them from life, from adulthood, from power, from stable families and communities. And that matters. We believe that the organization Black Lives Matter, a registered trademark, is a Marxist front that doesn't care about Black lives even half as much as an average white pro-life flyover Trump-voting evangelical. Every single Black life matters, from conception to the grave, and beyond into eternity. That is God's truth, and it's a hell of a lot more than BLM can say. This shouldn't be hard, but clear thinking is rare these days, especially on college campuses. All lives matter. All Black lives matter. All. Behind a badge. On the street. In the womb. Philosophy matters. Theology matters. History matters. Thinking matters. Learn to think in unthinking times. New St. Andrews College. Clear thinking, clear teaching. In person this fall.
There it is. There it is. Truth matters, history matters, theology matters, philosophy matters. So, of course, Black lives matter, and white lives matter, and babies' lives matter. Let's run one more clip. This is interesting. A black gentleman approached a health facility where the healthcare workers were outside on their lunch break protesting on behalf of Black lives. He goes up to them with his cell phone. He's talking to them. Watch this. Listen to this.
Lives matter or just some Black lives? The Black lives killed by Black men matter, right? Yes? The Black babies killed in the abortions clinics matter, right? Thought so. The black officers killed by that bastard in Minnesota, that matters too, right? Okay. But the Black babies that are killed in the abortion clinics don't matter, do they? Medical people. Do their lives matter? Does the future of our Black babies matter? Huh? What's up? What's up? Awful quiet now, aren't they? Uh-huh. It's okay if we kill them in the womb, right? But you have a problem you don't seem to really have a problem when we kill them on the streets. Yes, well, we know they're the same issue. If we don't respect the lives of our unborn children enough to save them and fight for them, our lives mean nothing once we're born.
So that's what we're dealing with. Did you know that in some parts of the country, over 50% of the babies in the womb, in the African American women, are killed? Washington, D.C., New York City. There are over 20 million African American babies who have been killed. Over 20 million. African Americans only make up about 12% of the population, but 1/3 of the babies killed in America are African American babies. Killing black babies is a part of black genocide, which is a part of white supremacy. And this is the part of it that is so bizarre to me. The data is there. The history is there. The quotes are there. You can see it. You can read it. Black Lives Matter people can read it. So you would think that they would have the moral integrity to just say, blacks have gotten a really bad deal in this country in a lot of ways for many centuries. You could say that. And part of that bad deal is that they're putting Planned Parenthoods and abortion mills in minority neighborhoods, in African American neighborhoods, to kill our babies. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the Supreme Court judge, said that when they passed Roe versus Wade, they had hoped that it would cause a decrease in crime because of eliminating undesirables. I don't remember the exact adjective she used, but it was a full-blown racist comment. This is what they thought would work. So there's 20 million dead babies, African American babies, as a result of hardcore racism. You would think that Black Lives Matter would point this out. Nope. I've got to take a break. Please don't go away. Welcome back, friend. President Trump's numbers, according to a Quinnipiac poll, his approval is down to 36%. That's a big problem. I don't know how accurate the poll is. I certainly don't know what the polling data would show in swing states, and I don't know what the enthusiasm factor is for President Trump versus Vice President Biden, his opponent, former vice president. We don't know, but I'm telling you something right now. In my opinion, if the election were held today, Biden would be the president. Now, what we have going for us is they're going to start running ads. They already have started running ads about police being eliminated. That's going to wake a lot of people up. President Trump has raised an exorbitant sum of money, more money for his campaign than any campaign in history. He will begin to rain fire and steel on Joe Biden, and that is going to have an impact. Joe Biden is not a healthy man. He's not inspiring, so you're going to have that to contend with. But the reason I'm wanting to focus on this for just a minute is because if the stats hold true, half of you that are watching this show right now on television, on the Walk TV network, half of you are not registered to vote. Of those of you who are registered to vote, almost half of you will not vote in a normal election. So that means that only 1 in 4 Christians watching me right now on this network, only 1 in 4 will actually show up to vote in November. And you not voting could cost us the country. I don't think that we would come back from a Biden presidency. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The reason is because if Biden is elected, there will be a general amnesty for all of the illegal immigrants from Mexico and from the Southern Hemisphere. 80% of them will register as Democrats. When that happens, Texas will be lost, Florida will be lost, Arizona will be lost, Colorado will be lost, probably Ohio. Those states will never, ever, ever again, not in my lifetime anyway, they will never again vote for a Republican president. Then the Democrats would have free rein to do what they wanted, to remake America into a socialist Marxist image, a baby-killing haven. Is that what you want? Because if it's not, then I suggest that you get registered to vote and that you commit before God to show up on election day and that you put babies' lives ahead of anything else. I don't know how someone thinks in clean conscience they could vote for Biden. If you vote for Biden, someone votes for Biden, they have blood on their hands, because Biden has said that he would kill babies. And if you help him with your vote commit that crime against babies, then you're an accessory. If I vote for a baby killer, I have blood on my hands. The theology is really simple. Do the math. We are leaving this weekend for a 20-day trip all over Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. We will be going to Joe Biden's church. We will be going to Joe Biden's neighborhood where he lives. Big signs, a big coach. If you can join us in Delaware, please do. Go to my website, randallterry.com, or go to a new one that's coming up, voteprolife.info, and you can see the trip develop and you can see details. Even if you go tonight and it's not there, just keep going back. Join us. And if you can't join us, help us financially. God bless you.